Okay, so as I was browsing around rules and stuff, I noticed there's this one little cool section in the IT portion of the IRM for systems development and more specifically programming. So as I took a quick perusal through here, I noticed a couple things. So you basically, if you're paying attention to this side here, you'll notice that they've got some general things and things like that. But then as we go down further, we get into more specific things. So what's interesting is the first thing that I saw really was the Java stuff. So basically, this is a fat taxpayer funded tutorial for who knows how many different, well, a few different languages. So the first one's COBOL. So for you, those old mainframe people, if you can find something that runs COBOL, well, let's see. COBOL. Look at that. So, yeah, if you wanted to learn COBOL, there's your option, and there should be a compiler or something that you can use. It's not quite wholly C, but... So, then next on the list you've got C. And... well, C is pretty standard. Further down, they do have assembler too, so... I mean, it's not like they're leaving very much out, but they're basically kind of defining their coding standards. But really, if you've kind of swam through enough tutorials, you can probably learn these languages from these standards and how they're laying them out anyway. So like, they've even got the accursed C++ in here too. What I find funny though is that, let's see, there's our Java. Native code, blah blah blah. I don't see any .NET languages in here, which is interesting because they've got Visual Studio installed, and it looks like a good number of tools are based on .NET and Visual Basic in essence. And I am not, like, I don't get it. And it does a lot of weird stuff too. But it could be that it's using like Visual C or Visual C++, because they've got variants for those too. But yeah, for the most part, I think COBOL, if you're interested in learning that, that's what most of the database framework uses. Where is it? I saw SQL in here. Where was that? I think it's next to the C stuff. Yeah, eSQL. In C. So they've got those. So if you wanted to learn SQL, they've got a list of those too. And they've got portability standards. Let's see. For high-level programming, usability of same software in different environments. Only changes would be the inclusion of possibly different header files, use of different compiler flags, blah blah blah. Must libc, please, for an applicated blah blah. Must have capability of moving across blah blah, not just blah blah. Blah blah blah. New machine hardware, blah blah. Operating system, blah blah blah. Writing code in C does not guarantee portability. Of course not. So, as an example of this, so the injector that everyone uses for Crystal Clear was basically originally written in a Windows framework. Once I got my hands on it, I found the equivalent headers that could be used on Linux and switched out certain portions of code that needed it. And then when it got sent back, there was a slight change to headers and a couple things so that that library that's more portable could be used on Windows and Linux, and I would assume Mac. But the web interface then there's that Python wrapper for the web interface, that basically hooks into the executables on a Linux platform. And then the website itself that everyone sees is basically I believe it was a flag brew website written in Python that connects to that wrapper that then utilizes the injector itself that does all the cool stuff. So that's kind of, I guess, the example that they're looking for, is they want it to be portable, but the problem is most of the crap that they use is all Windows. And so I am not sure how many Linux developers they have to try and test that C code out with, or to figure things out, but it just seems kind of So yeah, so here's our C++ overview. So let me see. So here, yeah, they've got the class declaration example. So you've got a few different, they've got a few examples up here, but not that many. So I guess it's less of a tutorial because they don't have that many examples depending on what you're looking at. So, but they've got them scattered here and there. And then they've got the whole assembler tables of commands and stuff. Oh, here's the Java section. They saved it to last. There it is. So yeah, so I think the Java one is more full complete. They do have comment standards, of course, because code etiquette has to be followed. Mostly this is defining the code etiquette that they expect and the formatting standards to kind of keep everything nice and simple. It's kind of like, I know Battle for Wesnoth has certain codings formatting that they look for. They look for certain kinds of indents and things in the pull request code and stuff. So that's another example of one that tries to keep the code somewhat uniform looking so that it's not all over the place and you can actually see what's going on. So, and I think somewhat they're trying to follow the quote best practices as laid out by various Java developers for like general standards of what most Java developers would do, even though they're not like set in stone in code, compiler code. So yeah, Java seems to be the one with the most examples, and I mean, it's understandable. Java's kind of a mess of a language, but so, and then COBOL I think seems to have a lot of examples, purely due to the fact that, well, it's, a lot of people don't know it. It's like trying to ask someone if they know Fortran, which I don't even, but, so yeah, they've got their, definitions, global shticks. So I mean, if you've been through a quick overview tutorial of some of these languages, then you should be able to pick up on some of this and just halfway understand what's going on for the most part. They do outline a lot of things. I think mostly, again, this is for formatting consistency that they're trying to keep, but it's basically full-on examples of what some of it looks like, and I haven't quite looked at best practices for some of these that people would recommend that you're not going to learn in school, and what they've got outlined here. I would hope that it's not like school-taught best practices and are actually industry standard best practices, but we can always hope and pray, but nothing ever makes sense. But yeah, if you wanted a government-funded tutorial on programming, if I can get the right screen, this is your way to go, I think. But yeah, Discord, scream at me about why COBOL is the best. And my support links are, as always, in the description, and my other social links. And they're also on the Discord and the Support Me channel with a couple extra links. So yeah.
A few moments later.
So as it turns out, it's in post and I can hear like my other channel, and when I upload straight to YouTube from the OBS recording right now, I don't get anything. Watch. What's interesting is the first thing that I saw really was the Java stuff. Who is this? Basically, anyway,